So we were in the big parlor room, and the man was already drunk. And he looks over at me and he says, I was at a wedding. And that's how he got so inebriated. He got a Uber to take him home from the wedding. And he looks at me and he was very, very intoxicated. And he said, a couple of the people at the wedding had some different things going on. And I kind of lost my train of thought. He says, fix me a bourbon. So I tried to go over and fix him a bourbon. It was a messy situation. It was hard for me to try to fix him a bourbon. And he said that at the wedding, there was this young couple get married. Well, one of the couple's parents had been divorced, and they were each there with their new spouses. And the wife was kind of putting on a lot of airs. She was saying her new husband, right there to her old husband, and her old husband's young, beautiful wife. Somehow the husband got a young, beautiful wife. But his ex-wife was saying how much more she enjoyed the larger size of her new husband's penis. And she would look at the man, not the man, but the man in the story that the man was relating to me. It was one of the nuptials, one of the newlyweds, one of their parents. Well, it was the two of their parents. They had been divorced, and the wife was saying to the I think it might have been the bride's father, how much more she enjoyed the new husband's much larger penis, and how it gave her so much more pleasure, and it enticed her so much more, and all these things. Well, the man, he looked over at his wife, the man in the story, not the man, but the man who was telling the story about the man whose penis was a little bit smaller than the new husband's. And he looked over at his new wife, who was much younger and prettier than the ex-wife. And he says, well, I hope I make up for it in other ways. And the new wife jumped on that man and just told him, she kissed him and told him how much she loved him. And so after that died down, the man looked over at his ex-wife and said, it's your turn, honey. Aren't you going to jump on your new husband? And his ex-wife looked away, and she said something. I don't know what she said, but she looked away and said something. I don't know what she said, but she looked away and said something snide. That was an insult to both her ex-husband and her current new husband. And the man was dumbfounded by that. And he just said, I couldn't believe that it happened at a wedding. I mean, that's the kind of thing you celebrate at a wedding. That's the kind of thing you do at a wedding. I mean, and I agreed. I was like, geez, if you're going to be at a wedding, you should try to keep a more positive, much more jovial attitude. Should be more uplifting, and everybody should be a little bit happier. But, sometimes these petty things, they continue, or these snide things fester and they come out, and we don't even know. Before we've opened our mouth, things have come out that we wish we never would have said. But the man, he had already passed out. He had got that part out of the story, and it was very interesting, and I was glad I got to share that. But he had passed out, and I took that opportunity to just snuggle down myself. I snuggled down. I curled up a little bit, and I kind of tried to get almost like a snail shell shape to myself, and I just kind of keep my own self warm, and I snuggled down and I went to sleep.